Hello everyone, I'm starting this video with a short clip from Lake Mansur, which is very close to Mount Kailash, and it's an important place of pilgrimage for most Hindus and Buddhists. It's 15,000 feet above sea level, and if you get the opportunity, you must go there. It's the largest freshwater lake in the world. Now this video is about Lord Shiva, and if you're fed up with your life, if your life situation is not good, you're facing a crisis, you're unemployed, or things are not working out for you and you feel you're basically not successful, what can you do about it? Now, Lord Shiva gives some advice that will transform you completely in 15 seconds. And he gives this advice in the Shiva Sutras, and it's in two parts. One is how do you look at your life situation, and the second is how do you change your life situation. So first, let's look at how you should look at your life situation. And he mentions in Sutras 3.9 to 3.11 that the self is an actor, the inner self is the stage, and the sense organs are the spectators. Now what he's basically saying is that don't make the role you're playing real. We take on various identities in life, from the job that we take on. We're a lawyer, we're a doctor, we're a factory worker, we're a teacher, whatever. He says these are all identities and they're not real. The world we're living in is also not real, it's an illusion. Now the minute you take on identities, and we keep taking on identities from our education background to our ethnic group to our nationalities, the more burdensome life becomes. And you have to set these identities aside. In fact, when you go to Mount Kailash, there's a shrine that you go through called Yamdwar, which literally means door or gates to the god of death. And it's in that shrine you're supposed to drop all the identities you've picked up in this world and just go as pure consciousness when you go to meet Lord Shiva. The basic point he's making is that nothing is painful which is not real. When you make it real, you start suffering in your life. But when you see that it's just a role that you're playing, you can put some distance between you and your life situation. And then you're better able to take action. Now, bad times will come. This is advice that Lord Krishna gave in the Bhagavad Gita, and a very important verse 2.14, where he tells Arjuna that contact with the physical world brings pleasure and pain, heat and cold. And then he goes on to tell him that they come and go, they're temporary. So have patience. Now what he's telling Arjuna is that when we sign up, when we come into this world, a basic feature of this world is that it's cyclical. There will be highs and lows, there will be good times and bad times. So if you're going through a bad time, don't suffer because of it. You must have patience because the good times will come after that. So he says, whatever we're facing right now, it's temporary, it'll pass. So face your life situation in that spirit. Now you may say that, okay, I'm unemployed, I don't have enough money, I have bills to pay at the end of the month. So how should I handle my life situation? What is the solution here? And Shiva gives the answer a little later in the Shiva Sutras. He asks us to focus on the self within us, the life within us, not so much on the life situation. You've got to spend some time on the life situation because we're living in this world, but the soul within us, our divine self, is the highest form of intelligence in this entire universe. And that's who we go to when we're needing help. So if you're in a bind, if you're facing a problem, go within. You'll find all your answers there within you. And that's why Shiva says in the Shiva Sutras that attentiveness is the seed. Pay attention to the present moment. When you pay attention to the present moment, you're giving some attention, some awareness to your divine self. And that's when solutions will magically appear to you. Ideas will come to you that will help you deal with your life. He also says that when we live in the present moment, we become a witness. And the person who actually explained Shiva's advice beautifully was the sage Ashtavakra, who was actually, his body was deformed in 8 places, and his teaching is given in the Ashtavakra Gita, another text that's worth reading. And in that he says something like, the wise man knows the self and plays the game of life. He is incomparable with the foolish who carry the burden of worldly illusion. And what he's saying is exactly what Shiva said, that know the self, play the game of life. There'll be highs and lows, there'll be ups and downs, like Lord Krishna also says. But the foolish, they carry the burden of worldly illusion. Life is a burden for them because they take on all these different identities. Now, when you live in the present moment, when you are aware, when you are conscious, you become a witness. And when you're a witness, you drop all your identities, life is no longer a burden, and life becomes beautiful once again. Thanks for watching.